It's really transformational. That's one word that has come up for me a lot during the training. And again, like we were saying, training doesn't necessarily feel like the right word to use because there are so many different layers. I have learned so much about myself, and not only necessarily about myself, but I've even seen like the rippling effects in my home, in my work, in my community. Currently I work with a charity, and we do holiday clubs for children who are on free school meals. So we offer free holiday places for families and children on free school meals, and we do different workshops with the families and individual children. And this Christmas, it was I can't even get the word out. It was so amazing to see. Usually we line the children. So part of the portion of the day, we will have a workshop for the children, and they all sit together. We'll have a little bit of a teaching, not really teaching, because we're trying to, let them have more fun. They've just left school. But we're used to lining them up, just like in school. You sit behind the table or sit behind the desk, and one of the mentors or the teacher or whoever's doing the workshop is standing in front. But this time, we sat them in a circle. So I'd spoken about circle to the director, and I said, look, I really think that this is gonna change. It will help the children to engage and connect. So he said, all right, then we'll do it. We'll sit them in a circle. And we had the most quietest voices speaking in that space. Some of the children who are really shy, they will never speak. They will choose to sit right at the back if they can, and go up and not engage if they can get away. They were in that circle speaking. By the end of it, we had all of them singing their favorite song, even the quietest voices. And another thing that I noticed that day is one of the girls who struggles with eating ate all of her lunch that day. And I know it's a bit radical to say, but I really think it's because she was in circle. She was one of our quietest as well. And as the week progressed, we saw like a family form. The older children were looking after the younger ones and making sure they were okay. And it was just really lovely to see. And if I go into my personal life, my son has ADHD and sensory issues, and he is constantly seeking stimulation. I am completely on the other end of that spectrum, so I will avoid stimulation as much as possible. I'll sit in silence quite happily. And part of our training, for part of what we were asked to do, was record our opening. So we recorded our opening and meditation for part of our training, and I shared the meditation portion of my audio with my son, and I watched his whole nervous system just relax. Like, he was so calm, he was so still, and he said to me, Mum, I really think that this would help children like me. And that really like cemented it for me. It was because we've done meditation before. He's never really been engaged. Like, when your mum is trying to say, come, let's meditate, it's going to be, it's like, no, Mum, I don't want to do that. Sitting in silence is really not his thing. He loves to listen to meditation music, but yeah, the meditation part has been really tricky. And yeah, that was really beautiful to see him and to hear him say, I really think that this will help children like me, because he's started to learn more about his ADHD and the traits that come with it. And it's actually given him more confidence and understanding of himself, what he needs, what is good for him, what might not be good for him. So that was really, really magical for me.